Team FTS here with Thomas and his new updated junk, Doppel, Quesar, Quick Draw, Dandy, Drill. Okay, anyways.
Alright.
About right there.
Alright, this deck is still in an experimental phase, so just bear with me, people. I'm still currently playing Triple Junk Synchron. That's my dude. I think every deck should have this card in it. The card's just so good. Double Quick Draw. Kept that at 2. Playing double Doppel Warrior. Double Level Leader. Now, a new addition I did make is playing 1 unknown. I was playing 2 in the beginning, but I just kind of found that I was really dead drawing them a lot. Now, people do say 2 for the consistency of the Quesar combination with Quick Draw, Synchron Explorer, and Level Leader. But, I mean, the deck is not all about Quesar. And the more I play it, I go to realize that. So I try Unknown at 1, because I do realize that the deck has more versatility than just Quesar. I play Double Effect Veiler. I moved the number of Synchron Explorers from 1 to 2, just because I mean the ability to just drop him, grab Quick Draw, and have an instant level 7 on the board for a Junk Berserker is just too good to not acknowledge. And then same thing with Junk Synchron to get an instant level 5.
You don't run the Archer anymore, right?
No.
Yeah. Archer's good against Exceeds though. So.
Oh yeah.
There's better options now.
Well, I'm getting. Yeah. Well, I actually have a solution for that in the extra deck when I get there. Believe it or not. Same Light Swarm engine, double Raikou and 1 Lila. The new additions I'm playing are Dandelion and Spore. Dandelion I tossed in. Just to be able to get my tokens off, and then I realized that milling this, I get my instant 2 tokens, and the next turn I have some fodder to have out my Junk Synchrons on my 1-star tuners, and by dropping him, or pitching him for Quick Draw, I get an instant 6 or 7. And Spore, Spore I can also pitch for Quick Draw, or I can mill it, or I can Foolish Burial it. So, I mean, it just gives you an extra 4-star tuner whenever I have it available. My boss monsters are going to be Trag, Gores, Dark Armed, BLS, and the newest addition is Chaos Sorcerer.
Why'd you start running Chaos Sorcerer?
Chaos Sorcerer, honestly, I found that as good as BLS is, there are certain things that I cannot get over. Trag, I do combo a lot, so I necessarily won't have many cards in my hand to keep him pumped up. And then there's so many solutions around Gores and Dark Armed at this point, it's just, ridiculous. Chaos Sorcerer I like because he's an extra removal. So, I mean, if they get over my BLS somehow, I have that extra Chaos Sorcerer. And I play so many Light and Darks that, I mean, dropping him is not really much of a thing.
I remember when you used to play Small World.
Oh, yeah, well, that was an old variant. We still keep it classic with the double tuning.
Why don't you run 3?
A lot of people have told me to run 3. I completely disagree with running 3. And the reason is because, I mean, yeah, some people are going to say, well, you mill, so, I mean, you mean, what if you mill your targets? Well, honestly, I play 3 Junk Synchron and 2 Quick Draw and 2 tuning. So, in my opinion, 2 Quick Draw and 2 tuning, these tunings are going to count as a Quick Draw. So, in my mind, I'm playing 4 Quick Draws. And then with 3 Junk Synchrons, I also play Reinforcements of the Army. So, with 1 Rhoda, 3 Junk Synchrons, and 2 tuning, it's like I'm playing 6 Junk Synchrons. This card can become any one of those 2. Even unknown if I need it. So, I mean, I feel that 3 would just clog up, and eventually you will run out of targets. Rhoda, of course. A new addition I added to the deck was a Warrior Returning Alive. And I love this card because if I have a Junk Synchron hand and I mill a Doppel Warrior, I get that Doppel Warrior back. Or vice versa, if I mill the Junk Synchron, I get this back. Another thing I realized that this card is not level restricted. So if I happen to mill that BLS and I draw this, I can immediately fetch that BLS right back to my hand. Or if it somehow gets destroyed, I can just fetch it back to my hand and keep reusing it.
That's pretty cool.
Foolish Burial. Just the ability to get things in your graveyard that you need for your combos is so key in this deck. And Foolish Burial helps just speed that up.
Don't get the shotgun.
Allure of Darkness.
I'm telling you, man, the shotgun sucks.
Charge of the Light Brigade.
Pay attention to the deck for Let me play zombie.
And of course, Mind Control and Creature Swap. I will never take this out. Card is just it's still busted. My last profile, I mentioned how good it was. This card's still busted.
Yeah, it's annoying when he normal summons an unknown or normal summons a Spore, and you're just like, oh, that's not good. Especially the Level Eater.
Oh yeah.
That's not good.
I love it. Pot of Avarice. Now, I took out the Double Decree just because, I mean, even though it helped with back row situation, if the card necessarily got MST'd or, you know, somehow blown up by Fire Fist, it wasn't really good to me. I couldn't really chain it to anything. So in response, I ended up getting in triple MST. Now, my reasoning for this is just because, I mean, yes, in truth, Double Decree does stop more, but MST, I can also chain as well. So if they were to MST this, like, if they MST Decree, I can't do anything. But if they MST my MST, I still have a chance to get rid of one of their extra back rows. So I can make them -1 in sense. And also, if my opponent is playing tanky, I can MST. You know, if my opponent is Mermails and activate the Sphere, I can chain it. So, I think that's very versatile. And triple is just really good right now. And of course, my last 3, Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, and Reborn.
Nice.
I got a
On
question.
to that.
I got
Let's
a
see that
question.
extra deck.
I got a question real quick.
Okay.
Why have you ever tried Scapegoat since?
I did. Honestly, I have tried Scapegoats at one point.
Cause that shit was nuts and plants. And shit.
No, it was. No, it was. I'll give you that. It was, but as with Scapegoat, honestly, I have tried it. I have honestly, believe it or not, I really found it really field cloggy.
Yeah.
And when I say that, like, if I have set random monster like Dandelion or Raikou, and then if I activate a Scapegoat, my monster's supposed to be filled. And nowadays, if the opponent knows what I'm playing, they know how to play around that. And of course, if I can't tribute the tokens, and I don't play any 1-sacks. So if I don't have a tuner on board and 4 tokens, my opponent can just stall and create hand presence until they can explode and kill me in 1 turn. So Scapegoat, as good as it is, it's easy to play around the card if you're a good enough player.
I always explode.
Now, as far as the extra deck, Soul Player Armory Arm, my level 5s, Hyper Librarian, Junk Warrior, and Catastor, never changes. Now my level 6s, I still play the Drill Warrior, however I threw in a new addition. My new addition is Junk Gardener. Excuse me. Junk Gardener is so ridiculously good. And the reason why I say he's good is because you can make him with either Quick Draw or Junk Synchron, which are going to be your main tuners regardless. He's a level 6. On top of such, his defense is 2600, which you're always going to play him in.
No.
His effect reads that once per turn, pretty much during either player's turn, you can change the battle position of 1 monster. So if your opponent has nothing but just giant beaters and you have guard on board at 26, you can literally stall out with this card.
I gotta say, it is really annoying when he has like that and like fucking Stardust on the field or something like that.
Oh yeah, because the Stardust just stops the destruction, and if they create a monster to run over the Stardust, Junk Gardener protects it by switching the position. Also, when Junk Gardener is destroyed, I can change the battle position of any monster on the board. So it doesn't necessarily have to be my opponent. I can also save my own monster from taking life point damage. So Junk Gardener is just really versed, and it's really good. My level 7s are Berserker and Rose. My level 8s are Scrap and Road Warrior.
Stardust.
And Stardust, yes. Well, I have that included with my Dragon family.
Okay. What about Black Rose? What about Scrap?
That nigga don't count.
And now, actually, earlier in the video you mentioned about Exceed problems.
Yeah.
I do have a solution for that. I was playing Junk Destroyer. I'm thinking about putting him back in. But right now, with so much Starlight Road going around, and just so many things that stop destruction, I've actually opted to play Mistworm.
Honestly, I think the Mistworm is better just because it's kind of more annoying, to be honest. When I play against it, yeah, you can't stop it.
Right, like my opinion with Mistworm is, let's say this was a Junk Destroyer, and then my opponent maybe have Starlight Road, and if it's Junk Destroyer, I may not necessarily get multiple destructions. If I get 2, exactly 2, and if I get roaded, it's just, oh, my Junk Destroyer is gone, and then my opponent has a Stardust, you know? But Mistworm, on the other hand, is different. One reason is because Junk Destroyer, you're not always guaranteed multiple pops, as I mentioned in a second ago. You may only get 1 destruction, which isn't really that good. Because you're using 2 monsters to make the 1 Junk Destroyer. So I mean, you're negating yourself 1. You're not really plussing too much. But with Mistworm, you're guaranteed up to 3. Just send back.
It's any cards in the field, right?
Yeah.
So you can even like pop back your own cards if you need to.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I think it's opponents. Yeah, it's only opponents.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, regardless, it's still. I mean, it's up to 3. So I mean, if my opponent has 2 big beaters in a back row, and that back row maybe Starlight or something, that goes back to the hand, and they're forced to deal with a cloggy hand. Plus he's 25. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, pretty much. it's like you either have the Baylor or like your shit's gonna get popped back to your hand. Like you can bottomless it, but it's like it doesn't matter.
Right. Or you know, my opponent has a better example. Zen mains and Mice Stroke. You know, if I have Junk Destroyer, they can just pop it with the Zen mains or the Mice Stroke, or with the Zen mains, pop my Destroyer at the end of the turn. Or Mice Stroke saves himself. Or even better with the Light Pulsar, you destroy the Light Pulsar, they get a dragon. You know? But with Mistworm, all that goes back to the hand. I mean, sure, whether they can drop it on me or not next turn is whatever, but it saves me that extra turn. And of course, I play the Formula, the Stardust, the Shooting Star, and my Quesar.
Yeah.
Like, I saw the zombie's hand in front of my face.
Any last comments on the deck?
No, man. I mean, honestly, you know, the deck, I'm not going to lie, guys, you know, the deck at time is really slow, and it's really difficult to play, in my opinion. But, honestly, I mean, if you're looking for something cheap, affordable, and a fun deck, you know, this is really it. I've been playing this deck for years.
It's also a very technical deck. It'll get you learning combos easy. It'll teach you how to do level adjustment. It's pretty.
It'll also teach you how to conserve too.
I've seen him like draw like 20 times while I burn in once. Like it was ridiculous. Like and he it's such a technical deck that it looks like he's like doing like math on a chalkboard pretty much. Like I'm not even joking.
There's a lot of
it's pretty cool though the way he plays it. So. I mean, I like the deck. I think it's good. It's good against Prophecy.
Science, bitch.
For some reason, yeah. For some reason,
bitch.
I'm beating Prophecies pretty consistently. I don't understand. I don't know. I mean, when they get Judgment Day, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna get like just creamed all over. But for now, I'm somehow putting up a fight.
All right, that's Thomas. He's our special guest. All right, see you around. Bye.
Bye.